here, 2 wins from getting to the 2018 World Series. The Dodgers are thinking, let's end it here tonight. And welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck along with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Let's talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. Obviously trying to extend this series. You think about where they sit with their pitching staff and their bullpen. They are loaded down there for this game after rest. Not just with the travel day, but with how the series ended back in Los Angeles. But the main thing for the Brewers, John, is they've got to start hitting the ball.
They do. They came into this postseason hot with a winning streak. They've gotten this home field advantage, but their offense needs to be more like their offense in the second half, especially their soon-to-be MVP, Yelich. You look at the numbers of those 3 guys. They haven't done anything really with men on. They're going to have to bunch some hits together. The homers have not been there. And as you mentioned, we've heard this before, all hands on deck. Fasten your seatbelts because the Milwaukee Brewers, all hands on deck, has been the entire playoffs.
I don't know much, but I'm pretty perceptive, and I think they might have just introduced Manny Machado here at Miller Park. Let's talk about the Dodgers. They have the guy they want on the mound. Their starting rotation is deeper than that of the Brewers, and it's Ryu, the big left-hander, who's going on normal rest tonight.
Yeah, normal rest being the key. He's a guy that doesn't throw in between starts very often, but he's a guy that's been really hot for the Dodgers. Their starting pitchers are the reason they're here. They've had some timely hits. They haven't hit many home runs. So the length of the starting pitchers has allowed the bullpen to actually be fresh and dominant. It's the Dodgers bullpen that has actually won the battle between the Milwaukee Brewers bullpen. The very biggest key for tonight's game, control the scoreboard. Get ahead so you can avoid what Milwaukee can throw at you.
Yeah, that really applies to both teams. We'll get into that as this game unfolds. We get ready for game number 6 tonight on FS1.
Precision, detail, craftsmanship. Assembling a team that could win in October is no easy task. Even with all the necessary parts, peak performance is far from guaranteed. The Dodgers are starting to fire on all cylinders, while the uniquely constructed Brewers hope to kick their offense into high gear. Will the Dodgers ride off into the Fall Classic, or can the Brewers engineer a Game 7?
Well, the Dodgers left their home stadium very happy. They had won the final 2 games of the 3 games in LA. They're up 3 games to 2 and trying to get to back-to-back World Series for the first time since the late 70s, 77 and 78. We welcome you to the NLCS, presented by the Google Assistant on FS1. Wade Miley's taking on the Dodgers. And Tom Verducci has more on the big Milwaukee left-hander.
Well, Joe, if it takes being loose to pitch a big game, the Brewers have the right man. Wade Miley, who pitched a 1 batter in Game 5, popped his head into the office of manager Craig Counsell before this game and said, 1 out again tonight. He's so loose that before starts he tells teammates, I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever happens, it will happen quickly. The Dodgers have not solved the quick working Miley. 18 2/3 innings, no earned runs. And against his cut fastball, they've put up a bingo number, 0-71. Now here's Ken Rosenthal.
Tom, the Dodgers set a franchise record for home runs during the regular season, but they haven't hit one in this series since the 8th inning of Game 2. Obviously, they want that to change. Teams that out-homer their opponents this postseason are 16-3. The problem is, Wade Miley is difficult to take deep. No one has hit a home run off him in almost 50 innings. For the Dodgers, maybe a lineup change will help. David Freese batting leadoff tonight for only the 4th time in his career.
You're stealing my thunder. Let's go. Let's play baseball. It's Game 6, and this place is loud. And we're glad you're with us tonight. Should be fun. David Freese, as Kenny said, first up. Max Muncy, then Justin Turner. Inside for a ball. Freese has made 5 starts in 6 games. He's got 5 total at-bats in this NLCS. He's usually good for 1 a night. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he showed tremendous professionalism. He's bought in. He knows he may not get a bunch of these at-bats.
But Dave Roberts has him in the leadoff spot, hoping to maximize the number of times he gets to face the left-hander Miley. So get him up first. See if you get more than 1 at bat in this game. 1-2. High and tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, for Miley, he doesn't want to give the hitters the time to process anything. That's why he gets it and goes. He reads the hitters pretty well, and he's trying to bust them in. Change up away.
And Freese shoots one into right center field. Back at the wall. It is gone. David Freese has started this game with a bang for the Dodgers. They spill out of their dugout. And Freese circles the bases, giving the Dodgers a 1-0 first inning lead. What a start.
Great approach, and he has a great approach at the plate. He got busted in, up and in, and then looked for the ball out over the plate and went that way. Remember, he earlier got a ball robbed by Kane, and this one he said, not tonight.
It had been 111 at-bats for the Dodgers since they had gone deep. You just heard about the home run that Justin Turner hit in the 8th inning of Game 2. That's the last home run LA, at the end of a record-setting season with the long ball, had hit. And the first man up tonight, David Freese, in the leadoff spot, puts LA on top, and now a ball to Max Muncy.
Well, that is huge because the first inning and the tempo of the game is so important for the Milwaukee Brewers and how they want to set up this game. And talking to Dave Roberts, you know, I said, is there extra attention to the detail of first inning at bats? Approach having like a 9th inning approach. He said, we talk about it. And he anticipated that this game, the guys would be better early against the starting pitchers, which they have not been able to solve against the Brewers.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Muncy. That's a little bit tight. We talked to Max before tonight's game, and he said, you know, I and we have had a tough time adjusting to the rapid rate with which Wade Miley brings the ball to the plate. So Muncy just stepped out, took a deep breath, gets back in, and swings through a pitch to even the count 2-2. They're trying to not let Wade Miley set the pace in this game. That's why Muncy just walked way out of the box.
That's the right approach. Again, a lot of information. A lot of guys have all they need to know what particular count, when he throws, what he throws, and how. But he makes you speed that up.
2-2. Full count.
And I know people might ask, you know, well, what did that do to his routine 2 days ago, starting to throw against one hitter? Well, I think his personality, it wasn't that big a deal, but it is different.
Look at Muncy just making Miley slow down. Goes the other way, grounds to the left side. Moustakas gets the out, one away. Let's go back to the David Freese home run.
You know he was sitting on changeup because that was the pitch he hit before. After getting the ball inside, he went with the pitch, and this time cleared it easily.
And the bullpen was waving that thing through. As the batter is Justin Turner. David Freese, who was the MVP of the NLCS when the Cardinals beat the Brewers in 2011, went on to a World Championship over the Rangers. David Freese was the MVP of that World Series. And this veteran right-handed hitting corner infielder gets another start, makes the most of it. Turner takes a strike, a ball and a strike.
48 2/3 innings without giving a home run. Wade Miley had before that home run for Freese.
Here's a 1-1. Strike two. Let's give you our keys to the game, sponsored by LG V40.
Well, it's simple for both teams. It really is. Score first and control the scoreboard. The Dodgers had the first opportunity. They put one up there. And what I mean by controlling the scoreboard, make it more difficult for Craig Counsell and when he has to pitch his weapons.
That's into center field. Turner with a good piece of hitting, and he's on with one out here in the first inning. And these fans are going to welcome Manny Machado to the plate. That's for what Machado has done in this series at second base, but predominantly for what he did at first base when he ran through the bag and clipped the ankle of Jesus Aguilar 3 nights ago. That's down and in, ball one.
The irony of everything, he made his debut with the Dodgers here in Milwaukee regular season. Milwaukee tried very hard to get Manny Machado. Now obviously the villain.
He was fined by Major League Baseball for that act. $10,000 fine for the contact he made in the 10th inning in game 4. That's foul. Strike two.
One thing Miley's got to be careful of with Machado is the curveball, only because he does like the curveball off the left-handers. So I would assume he's trying to bury a cutter in at his back foot at some point, try and get him to swing over the top of it.
Struck him out, 2 down. So that comes with an exclamation point as Wade Miley gets his first strikeout of the night.
He went old-fashioned fastball right by you.
And Machado says, let me hear it. Now Cody Bellinger. Ball one outside. Bellinger so far in this LCS 4 for 17, batting with Turner at first, 2 out, a run home on the leadoff home run by David Freese. 1-0. First 3 hitters went either up the middle or the other way against Wade Miley. A little different approach than in game 2. Ball 2.
Yeah, in a series when you see pitchers more often, you have an opportunity to kind of know what their game plan, and then you can adjust or make them adjust. It's a better approach off of Miley.
Checked his swing on a pitch down and in, 3-1.
Because he wants you to think the ball is going to end up in the strike zone, and that's what that little cutter and changeup does. They work both sides of the plate, and then he's got the good change of speed curveball. He just wants to create an illusion so that you can overswing and get the ball off the barrel of the bat.
Full count, and Turner will take off at first.
As a pitcher, you got to pitch with confidence and conviction. And right now, Miley has both of that with the stuff he has.
Turner takes off. Bellinger grounds it. Diving stop. Throw to first. What a play by Moustakas. Good positioning, better play. And Mike Moustakas, the third baseman on the other side of the bag, made that diving play. But in the inning, David Freese, the leadoff hitter, goes deep, 1-0 LA in game 6. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Brewers here in game 6. Typical top 3, Kane, Yelich, and Braun. They need to get Yelich going. Travis Shaw back in there. They need his thunder in their lineup. Aguilar, they need to get him going. Same for Moustakas. And then the back end, it's Kratz, the catcher. Arcia, who's been a force in that number 8 spot, and Wade Miley pitching and batting 9th and with a little attitude. Walking to the plate is Lorenzo Cain against a big left-hander, Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Well, Ryu was cruising along until that 5th inning. And those 2 runs he gave up, no walks. He will throw 4 pitches at any time and usually get him around the strike zone. Works ahead well.
Cain takes a strike. These Brewers have scored 3 runs over the last 22 innings in games 4 and 5 in LA. Kane's been trying to do his part, had a nice game 5, and now he slides into the hole. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristically in his strikeouts for Kane. He doesn't mind getting to 2 strikes, and then he battles. He goes into that 2-strike approach and normally finds the ball with his bat, and that's what makes him special, and his on-base percentage so high.
Ryu spins home another, misses up and away, ball 1. Ryu got back to work after a tear in his groin. He's had elbow issues, a torn labrum with the Dodgers after seasons of 14 wins in 2013 and 14. 1-2 is outside, 2-2. When he's on, the 6'3", 255-pound 31-year-old from South Korea can be tough to figure out. ERA under 2 and 7 wins in 15 starts during the regular year. It was 0-2, now the 2-2. Just poked at it, tough play, and safe. Ball gets away, and Kane is willing to hold at first. Might not have been aware. Leadoff base hit.
I mean, can't set that up any better with the way that he goes with that 2-strike approach. He believes if he can find the ball and his speed make something happen, and that's exactly what he did, and puts the Brewers in a situation where they need to get something going. They need multiple hits in an inning.
And they need something out of the likely MVP in the National League, Christian Yelich. 3 for 20 in this LCS. One of the hits, a bunt hit. Takes a strike.
That's what they've been doing a really good job, as you see the numbers on the regular season, and the second half was unreal, right? And they pitched him extremely well. I don't think it's so much pressing as it is quality left-handed pitching that has enabled the inside part of the plate and then gets him up with fastballs and out and away.
Jammed him, tough play, Turner, long throw, wow. Brilliant play by Justin Turner with his momentum carrying him into foul ground. He threw a sidearm strike for out number 1. That's as good as you can do it.
Absolutely, and a mini shift because of runner on first, and they jammed him again, and he goes the other way. And this play we're getting used to seeing from Justin Turner. The left side of the infield for the Dodgers is about as good as it gets when it comes to accuracy and making plays. Of course, Machado with a cannon.
Here's Ryan Braun. That means now that Christian Yelich in this LCS is 0 for 11 at the plate with runners on. He carried this team to the home field advantage position in the National League. Breaking ball misses, down ball 1. Brewers closed on the Cubs, caught them, beat Chicago in Wrigley, game 163 to have home field advantage, and Christian Yelich talks it over with Darnell Coles, his hitting coach. Another frustrating at bat. 1 ball, no strikes on Ryan Braun. Can tie it with a hit. 2-0.
Well, the curveball's not Ryan Braun's friend. From the left-hander, you see right there, Ryu throwing 2 in a row. You'd like to slow him down with that pitch and maybe try to get lucky with a fastball to speed up his bat. But they'll pitch him awfully carefully with base open and a left-hander on deck, of course, Shaw.
Tying run at second, 1 out. 2-0 pitch is down, 3-0.
For Dave Roberts, you're trusting that your left-hander stud on the mound's not going to give in here. Otherwise, you just would signal the 4th pitch to send him over to first.
Teams have gotten burned with that. What does Ryu give him? Ball 4. An infield hit, the ground out, now a walk. And Travis Shaw, who was in there in game 2 against Ryu, was 0 for 2 against a left-hander, is back in the lineup. With the left-handed starting pitching for the Dodgers, the lineup has been such for the Brewers that this big weapon, Travis Shaw, has been on the bench and was for the previous 2 games in LA.
Yeah, and even if he's in there, it kind of neutralizes his power. The left-handed pitcher's power against him, only 3 home runs, including the postseason, 30 against right-handers. So definitely likes the opposite side.
Pretty good rip there, strike 1.
What Ryu did to him last time when he got him in a situation that he could climb the ladder with the fastball and throw cutters. They want to expose him up in the zone if they can.
Shaw 1 home run this postseason that came in this NLCS. And came in game 2. Another good swing, but in the hole, nothing in 2. There's a home run off the left-hander, Alex Wood, for Shaw in that second game. Opportunity for Milwaukee after the Dodgers got a leadoff home run from Freese. 0-2. Still nothing in 2.
And there's the cutter. You know, in this series and just in baseball in general, everybody with their sign givings and all the things that they're looking for, the one thing you never want when the guy gets on second base, you look at the last pitch, you're always concerned if they tip location. If they can tell the hitter at the plate where the location is, you can start eliminating pitches, which gives the hitter an advantage. So that's why there's so much strategy in the sign giving and decoding.
Good block by Barnes, who was taken over behind the plate. Defensively, he's been much more sure-handed since Grandal was the only guy who Dave Roberts had in his lineup through the division series. Now it's Barnes, and Barnes got a key hit in game 5. Here's a 1-2 from Ryu. Jammed him. Shaw fouled it.
That's where they want to go. They want to go upstairs.
That's the Brewers overall, 143 with runners in scoring position in this NLCS. That is out number 2 as Barnes was able to hang on. Kind of a mild reaction at the plate, but a foul tip hung on to by Barnes. 2 out.
Perfect execution. They got the ball up. They threw the cutter with 2 strikes. And then, of course, Shaw couldn't foul that one off out of the mitt of Barnes.
So it's 2 on 2 out for the number 5 hitter, Jesus Aguilar. And he's in that same category with Yelich, and the guy on deck comes in 0 for 10 with men on. 2 home runs this postseason. Ball 1 down and in.
What the Dodgers have done as the staff has done a great job of limiting his power stroke, and that power stroke is middle to middle in for mistakes, getting him his eyes looking out over the plate, throwing changeups away, fastballs away, and getting him to reach for pitches. The game plan on both sides really for the star players have been pretty good execution wise by the pitchers.
Here's a 1-0. Strike 1. th pitch of this opening inning for Ryu, and he misses. Ball 2. runners. Braun digging to third, coming to the plate. The throw home, too late. Brewers lead 2-1.
Change up, but it was up, and better piece of hitting this time. He just reaches out and serves it in like a tennis volley, and then with 2 outs, Braun can just take off. And the great arm of Puig, he tries to throw it all the way to home in the air. And you can see Braun knowing how important that run was. What a huge 2-out double.
Moustakas adds to the lead. Aguilar coming to the plate. Back-to-back doubles. It's 3-1.
Up there, first pitch swinging, momentum's running, and he fed off of it. And now this place is rocking.
When we talked to Craig Counsell before the game, we asked him about the mood of the team in the clubhouse. He said if there's any question about it, if they're tense, this crowd will get them over the hump. This place is pumped. And Craig Counsell's team answers in the first with 3 and a chance for more.
There hasn't been in all of postseason this year many innings where the crooked number 3 comes up. And for the most part, when you get that kind of production in an inning, you usually go on to have good results. First inning is so important for the Milwaukee Brewers, and those 2-out hits got to make Craig Counsell feel great.
Now Moustakas at second with 2 out. Kratz goes the opposite way. Here comes Moustakas. Throw by Puig is cut off. 4-1.
What an approach. Nobody on the second base side. He waits on the curveball and just again puts it where they're not. And their bullpen for Milwaukee knows exactly what that means. Get us to a certain point and we'll take over.
That's their show me the love sign. And they're showing Erik Kratz the love. They have been all postseason. As the number 8 hitter Arcia takes a ball. Five hits in game 5 for the Brewers. 4 hits already in this first inning. And a 4-1 lead. A swing and a miss, a ball and a strike.
Well, it's going to be really important. You think about this. 2 outs. First and second, 1-0 lead. And now you're Ryu and you're down 4-1. And you've got to find a way to get some innings for your ball club while your team has plenty of time to rally.
1-1 pitch. Arcia tried to hold up. They don't appeal. The count 2-1. Three straight 2-out hits. Double by Aguilar, double by Moustakas, single by Kratz. And now one into left field that is going to fall in front of Taylor. 4 straight hits. 2 on, 2 out.
That one looked like Taylor might be able to get to it, and at the last minute, top spin. I think he makes the right play here and not creating any more trouble by the pitcher being up and trusting that his pitcher will be able to get out the opposing pitcher. If he dives for this and the ball gets by, it's another run scored.
Now Miley, who had 2 hits in game 2, including a double off the left-hander Ryu, takes a strike. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brewers will send at least 9 to the plate here in the opening inning, facing elimination. Exactly what they wanted, with a loaded bullpen ready to go. And Miley, like he was trying to shoot one into left, is in the hole now, 1-2. Had a good rip.
Well, this game was going to be filled with emotion anyways, because everything that's at stake, and of course this crowd couldn't be treated more to a perfect first inning. After the leadoff batter gets a homer for the Dodgers, kind of puts them in a uh-oh mode. It's loud.
Miley into right center field. Bellinger is back and able to recover to end the inning. And the 4 runs put up by the Brewers, the most first inning runs by any team this postseason. And it comes at a good time. And a couple of guys who came in struggling with men on. Aguilar, Moustakas go back-to-back with 2 out with doubles. It's 4-1 after 1. This postseason, T-Mobile is again going to bat for hurricane recovery, and you can help every time you tweet using hashtag HR4HR. T-Mobile will donate another $1 to Team Rubicon. This game's got a little different feel to it there, Smoltzy, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And you could tell the Brewers knew they had to get their hitting shoes on. And they've approached this second time against Ryu with a great game plan. I mean, you have to establish a game plan, but then you got to execute it. And you got to wait for the pitches you're looking for and then not miss it.
One ball, one strike on Taylor, and that's strike two. Chris is 6 out of 18 in this NLCS, and he can play all over, will bat really anywhere in this lineup. Dave Roberts likes his contact game after game. That's down and in, 2-2. Taylor, a key leadoff hit, was at second with nobody out in the 5th inning of game 5. Stole third, scored on a hit by Barnes. They tied the game at 1.
Miley just does a great job staying out of the strike zone. He gets the hitter to, again, think in and out, and then when he goes to throw his cutter, it doesn't always have to be in against right-handers. That one he tried to backdoor. Taylor went after it down below the strike zone.
That's up the middle and a base hit. That was to the left side of second base, but these Dodgers are clearly going up there trying to go up the middle or the other way. The NLCS on FS1 is presented by the Google Assistant, an easier way to get things done with just your voice, and is sponsored by Steal a Base, Steal a Taco, only at Taco Bell, and by eBay. If it's happening on game day, it's happening on eBay. Well, the show before the show, Yasiel Puig put on an exhibition in batting practice, just launching pitches way out of here. You and I counted 7 straight.
Yeah.
Then he hit one on the ground, then he went deep again. I mean, it was something to watch.
He definitely was in rhythm. The one thing about Puig on the year, the first through the 3rd innings when he bats, I'm not saying he's not interested. Statistically, he's not good. As the game goes on, though, it's amazing how he gets a little more locked in or statistically successful.
Runner at first, nobody out, and Puig is jammed a bit into right center. That ball carries a long way, but is out number 1. He is strong. And it reminded me and reinforced why you didn't watch batting practice when you were pitching. Brian Gorman's behind home plate. Greg Gibson is at first. He'd have the plate if there's a game 7. Alan Porter at second base. The crew chief is Jerry Davis at third. Hunter Wendelstedt is in left. Jim Wolf in right. And Scott Berry is the replay official in New York. Here's Barnes.
Might seem like a little thing, but the one thing Barnes wants to avoid is hitting into a double play. He'd like to get Ryu up to the plate here in the 2nd inning.
And Ryu, like Miley, can swing the bat.
And in a perfect world, get on base, and then Ryu can bunt him over or do whatever he needs to do. But in the National League, this is the part of the order where you can turn your innings quicker, get back in the pitch count.
Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Barnes way out in front, fooled on that delivery by Miley. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Milwaukee's staff in this NLCS, a combined ERA of just over 3. The starting pitching ERA coming in 1.29, but that comes with a big asterisk. We've played 5 games before tonight, and the Brewers starters have a 1.29 ERA. That's impressive, but they have worked only 14 innings before tonight.
That's a first. I can't believe Taylor didn't ask to check that ball. He threw that ball to first in the dirt.
Barnes with a good swing, but now he's in the hole 1-2. Barnes not only tied game 5 with a 1-out single in the 5th, he kept Clayton Kershaw in the game with that 1-out single. He strikes out. 2 down.
Clayton Kershaw hoping that he can start game 1 of the World Series and not be called into duty tomorrow night. And of course, Brewers got a different plan on that. Tied him up inside on that cutter.
He brings in Ryu, who was 7 for 26 during the regular season, takes a strike over the outside corner. Throws left, bats right, and he can swing it. Here's a 1-1. The opposite way, he's on. Taylor will turn and go to third. Why not? And it's first and third, 2 down on a hit by Ryu. That looked like the at-bats against Ryu in the bottom of the first. Just flipped it into right. It'll bring in David Freese, who has done what he did moments ago before. Game 6 in this ballpark, 2011, first inning, a home run. And then tonight, Game 6, Miller Park, leading off, home run to right.
I'll be shocked if he gets another changeup in this at bat. Look for Miley to try to get cutters in and maybe even a curveball. But David Freese's approach at the plate's been really good in his limited times against Wade Miley.
Runners at the corners, 2 out. Freese in that LCS hit .545, and that was one of his 3 home runs and one of his 9 RBIs in that series against the Brewers. Only holdover is Ryan Braun from 7 years ago. The 0-1.
That first pitch, Freese almost anticipated. You could tell he was going up there looking for that cutter, guessing along with what. Sometimes you take something away from a pitcher that's a strength, and the pitcher goes away from that strength. It's natural, especially in this type of atmosphere, in this type of game, when somebody does something to one of your pitches, you can almost put it in your back pocket. And the hitter can eliminate it and look for a different avenue or a different way that he's going to get you out.
2 balls and a strike. Runners at the corners. Freese pops it up on the right side for Aguilar. It's 4-1 after 1.5 in Game 6 in a very loud Miller Park. 4-run first inning for Milwaukee. A 3-run lead as Ryu goes back to the hill. Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, Ryan Braun, the top 3 in the lineup after Milwaukee sent 9 to the plate in the first. 1-0 from the lefty on the outside corner.
And you think how this inning started. It was a classic, not a pretty swing, but a classic 2-strike approach out of Lorenzo Cain to start off the game with an infield base hit. And then with 2 outs, chaos.
Strike 2. Game 5. 5 for 31, scored 2. First inning, 5 for 8, scored 4. And had 4 straight hits with 2 out.
Aguilar hit a changeup. It wasn't a bad pitch, but he hit a changeup, and the key is he put it in play in the right spot. Got this inning off to a good start.
Fastball high, 2-2. Down the line, long run for Puig. He's there for the first out. Live every postseason moment with At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all. Live radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and much more. Download At Bat today.
I think Yelich is going to be really aggressive on this first pitch. You know he wants to get some hits. He's taken his walks and battled off and fouled off a lot of pitches. And that was a ball. But I think the psychology of the playoffs can be very difficult because your season gives you a portrait of what you've got. And that's an MVP season. And so everyone expects that it's just going to continue. But don't think for an instant that every guy wearing a Dodger blue has circled that guy when the lineup card comes out and says he's not beating us.
That's into right center field. Puig will try to cut it off. He'll come up throwing. Yelich into second with a double.
Looked like he might have got a changeup or something off speed, and that beautiful swing that we've come to see all year, and speed like Bellinger, easy double, and a much better feeling, of course. He's had to answer those questions. Everyone's asked the same questions. He knows he could still have 2 more games if they do their thing.
So an extra base hit for Yelich. He's at second with 1 out for Ryan Braun. Ball 1 outside. It's the way Yelich has answered those questions. I haven't seen any frustration. Seen a very calm guy who believes in his approach and knows that it'll come around if given the opportunity. Here's a 1-0. Braun was trying to pump one out of here. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, both teams have done a good job when they're ahead in the count offensively. But the Brewers coming into this game behind in the count was a dismal 117. So Ryu just a little uncharacteristically missing early with pitches. And of course, if the Brewers can control the count, they have a better chance of having success.
Here's a 1-1. Into right center field. That ball is down to the wall. Yelich scores another extra base hit. 5-1 Milwaukee. How about this Brewers approach tonight?
I haven't seen one guy try to pull and launch, and I've seen them sit back and wait for the pitches they're looking for. This is another breaking ball. See how it pops out of his hand, and it has more of a flat break. Even though it's breaking, the hitter sees it, and when you see it and wait back, good things happen. And they're finding the gaps.
Already 4 doubles for the Brewers tonight as Shaw takes a strike. Yelich able to cruise home on that shot into right center. Shaw fouls it away. 0-2.
Well, the good news for the Dodgers is you got 7 more cracks. The bad news is you really got about 2.5 innings because there's some people waiting to come in. If it gets dicey at all, or runners, or they get close, we're going to have some lockdown guys ready to come in from Milwaukee.
0-2. Shaw grounds it up the middle. Machado gets the out. 2 down. Over to third is Braun. But then you get into the cat and mouse game of, if you're Craig Counsell, you're looking at Wade Miley thinking, please give me some length in this game, because their hope is to play tomorrow night. So
absolutely,
you can't just run everybody out there tonight.
No, but the pressure,
if you can avoid it, you'd
right.
love to.
But the pressure on Counsell is going to be at any point they see any hiccups or potential. He's not going to hesitate to use Hader today, knowing he could still have him tomorrow.
An intentional pass to Aguilar puts runners at the corners with 2 out for Moustakas. Tom Verducci, are you thinking along those lines?
Yeah, you know, the thing that I'm noticing here with Ryu is the way they've jumped on first pitch curveballs. Nothing will unnerve a pitcher quite like hitters being comfortable on pitches, first pitch, secondary pitch. Fastball right there, but I noticed in the first inning, both Moustakas, watch how comfortable Moustakas and Kratz are on first pitch curveballs. These swings are on balance like they're expecting it. Now that's a pitch designed to get a first pitch take. Ryu threw 83 first pitch curveballs this year, gave up 1 hit the whole year. Now that could be they've just done their homework. Perhaps out of the stretch he's giving away that pitch. But let me tell you, that will unnerve a pitcher to see those swings on first pitch breaking balls.
0-2, the count on Moustakas. This big crowd once more, leading by 4. Runner goes on a strikeout. But another run on the board here in Game 6. Yelich with a 1-out double. Ryan Braun followed with a double of his own, 5-1 after 2. Couple of doubles in the bottom of the second produce another run. It's 5-1. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for LA against Wade Miley. Muncy, Turner, Machado. And the first pitch is in for strike one. Muncy grounded out to third his first time. He went the other way. First 3 hitters did. Taylor went up the middle for his hit. Even Ryu went the opposite way for his base hit last inning, but Miley got around that. It's 0-2.
Throwing strikes, being confident, changing speeds. This is an offense that likes to sit on pitches and use their power. Well, he mixes it up enough to get them off of sitting on pitches.
0-2. Muncy very deliberate again to back way out of the box, as he did in his first plate appearance. Another 0-2.
Got a front door cutter. What he's trying to do is, of course, make that look like a ball and catch the inner part of the plate. Just didn't have the last movement to get over for a called strike.
Play Muncy to pull. That's way outside. 2-2.
Again, Kratz does all the little things you have to do. Statistically, in the season, maybe you're not going to look at his batting average, but defensively and for his pitchers, right on the mark.
Muncy goes the other way and lines it to Braun. 1 down. If the Brewers win tonight, we'll be back here tomorrow for Game 7 with a winner to take on the Red Sox in the World Series. Coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Here's Turner. Turner singled into center his first time. Big breaking ball for strike one. That Game 7 would feature Walker Buehler, the young right-hander, against Yolis Chassin. And then it would be all hands on deck for each side, which is always fun in a Game 7. That brings Kershaw into play. And a great bullpen for Milwaukee. That's foul and dangerous. Thank goodness there's a screen up there. It hit the very end of it. 2-2. Here's Buehler.
Of course, Buehler, the bystander in this game, emotionally, you try not to get too involved and too carried away with the moment. But as it stands right now, he'll be, the later this game goes, you'll start thinking about his preparation for Game 7.
Him out, 2 away. And Miley just keeps doing his thing. Been so good, and you know Machado's walking to the plate.
If there ever was a spot, this would be it.
You're talking about to hit him.
Pitch inside.
To hit him.
Maybe it gives away. I don't know.
Jammed him, popped him up. Machado 0 for 2. And the bottom of the third inning rolls in. Brewers coming up, leading by 4. Bottom 3 in the lineup for Milwaukee. That's Eric Kratz, who had the RBI single the opposite way his first time and fouls this out of play. We're underway in the bottom of the third with the Brewers on top 5-1.
Well, if the Dodgers can get 2 innings out of Ryu, that would be great. More than likely, if they get the 1 inning here and then rally in the next, they're probably going to pinch hit. But this inning is equally as important. Down 4. That way you don't have to eat into the bullpen with tomorrow's game looming if they don't catch up.
Hard hit. Turner down on a knee. One away, and Eric Kratz, who is loved by this fan base after being picked up in May from the Yankees organization. He has a big rooting section here. And before the game, he was greeted by that rooting section, all wearing jerseys of his previous stops. Guy who didn't get to the big leagues till the age of 30, and cool moment. Good guy. Here's Arcia. Ball 1 outside. And here they are. They're assuming that they're his friends.
Otherwise, other people are thinking, what are you doing with those jerseys out here in Milwaukee?
1-0 pitch is a bit high. 2-0. Well, we know that Eric Kratz is a follower of the paleo diet. Don't know that the entire group also follows that same diet.
I don't think so. Forgot to look that up too.
I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying that's elite. That's like, it's next level stuff.
Yeah.
cutting out all the fun in life.
So you know what it is then? You looked it up?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of know. I know enough to know that I don't want to know. 2-1 to Arcia. Big breaker in there that caught the outside edge. 2-2. They made good on the hamburger thing, by the way. Here's Arcia, jammed a bit, sending Taylor back. Big swing, but out number 2. So because they won 12 in a row, and a promise that was made back in the 40s and had been made good on one time in '87 when they won 12 straight, because they won game 1 of this NLCS. That was a dozen. And so free hamburgers for a matter of hours here yesterday. I know you were in town. Did you take part?
You know, I totally missed it. Totally forgot about it.
Or heard you so excited about some opportunity for free food as Miley takes a strike. He sent Bellinger back to the track to end a long first inning for Ryu. 0-2 the count.
Well, that first inning, which there hasn't been a lot of 2-out RBIs in this series, unlike the Boston Red Sox, who seemingly scored at will with 2 outs against a great team, the Houston Astros. Those 2-out RBIs are backbreakers, not only for the opposing team, but for the opposing pitcher.
0-2 pitch. Miley strikes out. That's 3 in the game for Ryu and sends us into the 4th. You saw Urias getting ready for long work tonight if he's needed. 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for the Dodgers down 4. Cody Bellinger first up for the Dodgers, 4th inning. It's 5-1 and a strike from Wade Miley. Bellinger grounded out, hit it sharply his first time up, but Moustakas was there up the middle to make the play in the 0-1. Wade Miley was signed to a minor league deal before spring training. Strained his groin in his last start of the spring, went on the DL, came back in early May, hurt his oblique on May 8th, was on the 60-day DL. But when he came back in mid-July, he was terrific. 13 starts, 4-1. Down the stretch, 2.6 ERA in this postseason. He's been outstanding. 2-2.
He has been, and he's had the Dodgers hitters for the most part off balance, whereas the Brewers hitters almost look like they know what's coming. And in some cases, they may know what's coming. Whether Ryu is tipping his pitches, they have been on all of them. The Dodgers have been battling with one swing from Freeze is the only run they've gotten.
That's down for a full count.
And that's the one thing you worry about as a pitcher, right? You just don't want to have the hitter have any advantage whatsoever. Every hitter, every pitcher should have somebody in their own dugout watching them to make sure they're not tipping.
Chased it. Strikeout number 4.
Hey Google, who was the 2017 NLCS MVP?
The 2017 National League Championship Series MVPs were Justin Turner and Chris Taylor.
Chris Taylor and Justin Turner shared the honor last year. Turner hit .333, 2 home runs. The Game 2 walk-off against Lackey, 7 RBIs, and the guy at the plate hit .316 and had a big home run in a Game 1 win. That's down for ball 1 from the lefty Miley, who got Cody Bellinger on a 3-2 pitch down and away to strike out. Ball and a strike.
Not everybody can do it, but if you can read swings out on the mound, that affects how you're going to pitch to the next pitch sequence. If you think a guy's pulling off, that affects the way you're going to throw. If you can jam a guy in, pitch him away. I couldn't do it. I had to watch video or rely on my catcher. I didn't have the ability to actually throw a pitch and then see what a hitter was doing based on what I just said. Miley may have a good feel for that. He finishes in a good position. He looks like he's playing catch with the catcher. He doesn't overexert.
Taylor ahead in the count, 3-1, and now hits one into left. Easy for Braun. Miley rolling. Ken Rosenthal, Miley has been quite the find for the Brewers.
He has been, Joe, and he also did a great acting job in the interview room on the eve of Game 5. He faithfully played the role of quote-unquote starting pitcher, knowing that he was only going to go one batter in the game. He told reporters afterward, "I didn't lie about anything to you guys. I answered 16 questions the best I could, left a few small details out."
He's the perfect guy as Puig takes a strike to handle the sleight of hand or the whole decoy for Game 5 as Puig gets it off the end of the bat. Kane is in to grab it, and then he comes right back. 2 days later, Wade Miley leads by 4 after 3.5. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by State Farm. Chilly and windy outside, and we welcome you back to the NLCS presented by the Google Assistant on FS1. Pitching change as Julio Urias, who got the win in that long 13-inning Game 4 back at Dodger Stadium, takes over. Interesting move. Granted, the top of the lineup is coming up for Milwaukee, but the pitcher spot for the Dodgers due up second in the 5th next inning. No double switch, so that means Urias or a pinch hitter, and then more from the bullpen. Ball 1, down and in.
Yeah, so obviously Dave Roberts didn't want to lose Puig or Taylor, two guys that you would think he could have double switched if he wanted Urias to pitch a few more innings.
1-0 pitch, foul back. Urias is 22. His stuff is electric. He got into 3 games fighting his way back from shoulder surgery. All the recovery, all the rehabilitation, and got himself ready, added for this round, and it paid off for the Dodgers in game number 4. Pitching in game number 6 here in the 4th. 1-1. Chased it, 94, strike 2.
Now, one of the ways that Dave Roberts could finish this game is have each guy go an inning, keeping it close. But we'll see. We'll see if Urias will actually bat or not.
Representing the Dodger bullpen that's been so good as he misses up 2-2. Kane 1 for 2 tonight. Got the 4-run rally started in the first. Takes low, full count.
Kane makes you work, man. You got to earn everything you get on the mound when you're facing him. Doesn't matter what the count is.
Back to the lefty. Here are the numbers as Urias gets the first out here in the 4th inning. Our Indeed player resume. And for this postseason, the resume is outstanding for the Dodgers bullpen and the numbers in the NLCS. And really anywhere they've turned, John, guys have come through for Dave Roberts.
It's been good because they haven't had to go to him a lot, just enough to work out their success rate. Their starters have done a nice job with the exception of a couple games.
Yelich takes a strike.
Of course, Kershaw had a short one here, and now Ryu's had a short one. Other than that, they've taken care of their bullpen, have the starters for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they have been on point.
Urias, good swing by Yelich, and that includes Buehler, who, if there is a game 7, would get the ball. The young right-hander went 7, did allow 4 runs, 5 hits, struck out 8, walked 1 in game 3, and a rematch against Chacin. It was outstanding. 5 1/3, no runs, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. That was last Monday in the win by the Brewers out in Los Angeles. Here's the 0-2. Struck him out. 94 up around the letters, 2 down.
Tremendous mechanics for this youngster. Fastball over the top. Tremendous poise. Pretty much throws it where he wants to.
With the bases empty, it's Braun. Braun walked in that first inning. And And in the second, plugged the gap in right center with an RBI double. Outside, ball one. So again for LA in the fifth, it'll be Barnes and either Urias or a pinch hitter and David Freese.
It's just been amazing what the Brewers have been able to do to the Dodgers 1 through 5 innings. Really not allowing them to get on track. Now they've gotten on track later in the game, but can't ask for anything more.
Outside again, 2-0.
Players come to the park with a great anticipation, especially the Brewers. You're coming to your home park. You're like, how's it going to play out? You all have your thoughts on how it's going to be, and you rely on your starting pitcher to set the tone. Well, the first hitter hit a home run, but then the offense said, it's our time. We've got to wake up, and they came out with a great game plan against Ryu. 4-run lead.
Braun went around, trying to hold up, 2-1. Two-one pitch.
Nasty cutter. Just threw him. Bottom drops out of it. That ball just disappears late.
Urias has retired the first two and is 2-2 on its way. Inside a full count. Ryu went 3, allowed 5 runs on 7 hits. Walked 2. One of them an intentional pass, struck out 3. Allowed 4 extra base hits.
Might think you see the same pitch with left hit with Shaw on deck.
.95 from the lefty. Oregon and Washington State tomorrow, but we've been talking about Michigan State. That starts the day.
Starts the day.
Starts your day, I know that.
I just hope
a little Michigan State hat on.
Hope it makes my day.
3-2 again from Urias, and he struck him out. A good first inning for the 22-year-old left-hander. 5th inning, game 6. 5-1 Milwaukee. The NLCS on FS1 is presented by the Google Assistant, an easier way to get things done with just your voice. And is sponsored by eBay. If it's happening on game day, it's happening on eBay. And by Indeed, the world's #1 job site. 5th inning, 8-9-1. With Dozier on deck, Austin Barnes looks at ball 1. Looks at ball 2.
Right about now starts, you're not pressing because you're up 3-2 for the Dodgers, but if you have any hope to come back in this game, something has to cross home plate in this inning, because now you're getting in that dangerous territory where Hader can be available for 2 innings.
That's ball 3. Urias with a scoreless inning, 2 strikeouts. Alex Wood getting loose, a left-hander. He took 1 strike. We'll see if he's willing to take another or if he jumps on a 3-1. Yes, he was willing to take, and it's a full count. Miley trying to battle back from a 3-0 count. Left side. Arcia continues to sparkle in this postseason. Long, easy throw, good arm, and here comes Dozier, and that's officially it for Urias. There are the numbers for Dozier. Has a hit. Made that start in game 4. Drove in the first run of the night for Los Angeles, and who knew that at least on the LA side it would take about 5 hours more before they scored their second run in a 2-1 13-inning victory. Ball 1 that goes around the zone, according to Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire. Same spot.
The Dodgers are kind of tricky for opposing pitchers. They didn't swing at a lot of first pitch offerings, less than 25%, but they hit the most first pitch homers on the year. And so
inside 3-0.
And so they're showing discipline. When ahead in the count, they haven't got enough good swings against Miley. That just tells you what he's been able to do behind the count.
Walk on 4 pitches to Dozier. And back to the top of the lineup, David Freese, who homered to lead off the game for the Dodgers into right center field. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services.
You see, he wasn't going to let Kane catch this one. 402 feet. Aggressive the second time up on the first pitch. See if he's aggressive the third time. Hey, 3 at-bats for Freese in a game.
That's the first walk by Miley, who checks on Dozier. Yeah, it's just odd. 5th start in 6 games for Freese, and he came into tonight with 5 at-bats. 1 for 2 in this one. Strike 1.
And this is the make or break inning, I think, if the Dodgers know that their time, you know, in baseball you don't play against a clock, but in their internal clock they know that Craig Counsell's not going to leave Wade Miley out there much longer with trouble. You see Knebel's up already for the Brewers.
Freese hits one into left center field. That ball's going to get down. Dozier digs for third. They're going to bring him to the plate. Throw by Arcia is too late. 5-2 here in the 5th. Freese with 2 RBIs.
Wow, what was Muncy doing? Muncy's the on-deck hitter. He's supposed to let Dozier know what to do at home plate. Wasn't watching to see if he gave any signal or not, as of course Dozier didn't slide.
he just beat the throw. Arcia's got a great arm, and I'm telling you, that should have been routine, and he was safe by that much.
Muncy really didn't really tell him what to do, and that's what a runner's supposed to do, is look at the next hitter up. But in this case, of course, it's not going to matter. But that's typically what happens when the on-deck hitter is on that position to let him know what to do.
Well, here's Muncy, lefty on lefty with Turner on deck. And the right-hander Knebel getting loose in the bullpen. We'll see if Miley stays in for the lefty Muncy, or if they're stalling to make sure Knebel is loose and ready for this at bat. Here's Dozier's trip around the bases.
Kane had him shaded to right center, so he had to go a long way to get it. Dozier looks at that last second to see where the throw is. But again, protocol is to look to your teammate.
We'll give Dave Roberts credit. He wanted that Freese-Miley matchup, and it's paid off tonight with a home run and an RBI double. Freese at second. Muncy takes a ball. And obviously Counsell likes this matchup of his left-hander against the left-handed slugger for LA, who hit 35 home runs during the regular season. Two and 0.
Well, another run here puts a lot of pressure on Craig Counsell. Of course, he's going to go to his bullpen, you would think, and the Dodgers certainly needed to get as close as they can before the 6th inning, because then it just hands it right over to Knebel, Hader, and Jeffers in some fashion, some order.
2-0 to Muncy. Inside, 3-0. Fell behind the first two hitters 3-0. Came back and got Barnes, walked Dozier, and then Freese got him for an RBI double.
I actually think he could have a 3-0 green light right here for some reason.
That's down, and will bring in Justin Turner and likely bring out Craig Counsell. Pat Murphy says that Knebel is ready to go, and that's going to be it for the left-handed starter Wade Miley. And the crowd appreciates his work here tonight as he gets into the 5th, but it's tense now. You see the three outfielders all on a knee here in the 5th inning. They've got 3 really good arms. Others to add in, but 3 late inning guys in the bullpen for Craig Counsell, and here's one of them, Corey Knebel, who has had 2 days off, so he is rested, ready to go. He's allowed 1 earned run in 7 2/3 this postseason, and you see all the strikeouts to 3 walks. Got the save in game 1.
Well, if nothing else, this is what the Dodgers wanted if they were losing, to get a lot of that energy and effort to come out of the pen, if nothing else, to help them for their chances if they don't win this game for tomorrow. And for the Dodger hitters, what they have not been able to do off of Knebel is stay off of that bell-tie fastball, which good luck trying to hit that at 97 with a power breaking ball.
And the guy at the plate is on that list. Remember, Turner struck out 4 times in game 1, and it was a lot of high heat and heat that was up and out of the strike zone. That's how Knebel got him in that game. 2 on, 1 out, and a spin, a look back to Freese. What a pickup from the Pirates for the Dodgers to get David Freese. 2 RBIs tonight. Breaking ball drops in, a beauty, strike 1.
Rarely do you see Justin Turner swing wildly on the first pitch. In other words, he thinks he's going to get a certain pitch. He looks for it and then he lets it go. If he doesn't like it, he's not afraid to get to 2 strikes either.
The 0-1. Tied him up and in at 97. Strike 2.
That's been if there is any Achilles heel with Justin Turner so far this postseason, it's been up there.
Turner 0 for 4 lifetime against Knebel with 2 strikeouts.
Key to throwing high fastballs is you got a small box that you want to put it in. And what I mean by that is too high is a waste. And then if you miss that box and you bring it into the strike zone, it gets hit. So you want it enticing over the middle of the plate, just above the belt, just on the top line of the strike zone, that box that you can see there with the catcher.
Fifth inning drama here in game 6. 2 on, 1 out, tying run at the plate for the Dodgers. Right side, foul ball, out of play.
He was in the 2 inches higher. I don't think Turner can get to it.
Eighth appearance for Knebel this postseason, over 9 games. Big part of that great finishing stretch for the Brewers, Knebel. Turner skies it into center. Kane will go to it. 2 out. And Manny will walk to the plate.
If you're Knebel here, you obviously know that the hitter, Manny Machado, has got home run power, and you don't want him to tie it up. So the first pitch that would make me a little leery would be that first pitch curveball. If Manny went up there looking for one area with his long swing that he has, especially low in the zone.
He's struck out. He's popped up.
Got to make Manny beat you the other way.
In case you don't know what we are referencing, and in case you don't know why he's being booed the way he is, that at first base, dragging his left leg and slamming it into the inside of the right ankle of Jesus Aguilar in that 13-inning game, game 4. Fined $10,000 for it. Brewers didn't like it. Their fans didn't like it. Christian Yelich calling it a dirty play by a dirty player.
Well, since then, Aguilar has gotten his foot off the bag a lot quicker. He caught that one and just kind of stayed there, and of course we saw what happened after that.
0-1 the count. Good block by Kratz. Freeze, the lead runner. He does not possess a lot of speed. He's had foot injuries over the years. We saw the trail runner Muncy. Strike 2.
Has the perfect angle, does Knebel, to throw the ball up there. Naturally easier for him.
Some fans cheering, some fans booing as we wait for a 1-2 to Machado. That'll get out of play.
So if you think along with Greg Counsell a little bit, the strategy of this game, you would think Knebel is able to get out of this. He'll pitch another inning, and then more than likely that man will be in soon.
Another 1-2 pitch to Machado. 2-2.
And that's why it's so important. Even if the Dodgers don't score again in this inning, looks like Alex Wood comes in to keep it close, to make that a priority, to get Hader in at least 2 innings.
Machado 1 for 5 against Knebel. That hit was a home run at Dodger Stadium on the 30th of July. 2-2. He struck him out. Knebel slams the door on the 5th. And Machado's 0 for 3. Brewers lead by 3. Halfway through game number 6.
First shot, come strut walking, a little bit of humble, a little bit of cash.
Official caps, t-shirts, hoodies, jerseys, jackets, and more. Find all the gear you need all postseason long at MLBshop.com. Bottom of the 5th inning. Alex Wood is into the game. 3rd pitcher of the night for the Dodgers. There are the numbers this postseason. First up is Travis Shaw.
Those 2 home runs came against left-handed batters, and he hadn't given one up all year against. That's how tough he can be against left-handers. Funky mechanics. But now it's going to be doubly important for him to not give any energy back to the Brewers lineup, because the Brewers are now in their bullpen mode.
Couple of changes along with Wood as the count's gone to 3-0. Aguilar on deck. Max Muncy moves from 2nd to 1st. Brian Dozier takes over at 2nd. Travis Shaw waits for a 3-0 pitch. He's homered off Wood in this LCS, and now he takes a walk. That means, by the way, David Freese is out, and the pitcher is batting in the number 1 spot for LA.
Well, the biggest hit of the night belongs to this young man right here, when 2 outs, double, started that whole 4-run 1st inning.
Takes a strike. Jesus Aguilar flipped that double into right to score 2, and then scored on the very next pitch that was delivered to Moustakas, who doubled into right as well. RBI hit by Eric Kratz, and a 4-run 1st inning. 1 ball, 1 strike on Aguilar. Knable, a great job to get Turner and Machado with 2 on and 1 out when he took over in the top of this frame. In the 6th, they'll have Bellinger, Taylor, and Puig. Ball 2.
Conceivably, Knable could come up with bases loaded, 2 outs. That's how far away his spot is.
Two-1 to Aguilar. 2-2. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in, 1 out.
That was a big out by Alex Wood after walking the first hitter. Now he gets to face another left-hander in Moustakas.
Moustakas 1 for 2 tonight. Struck out against Ryu the next time up after that RBI double and run scored in the 1st. Inside corner for a strike. Brewers have this game where they want it, in that they have the lead middle innings. Their bullpen has taken over. Wood trying to keep this a 3-run affair. 0-1. 0-2.
It's just amazing this time of year with the When all concerns were about who's a dangerous team in the playoffs before it started, well, I think the popular #1 answer was the Milwaukee Brewers for situations like this, because you're playing a shorter game. You mentally realize that it's going to be tougher to score from this point on, and a 3-run cushion is ideal for Craig Counsell and his bullpen.
I know we've said it a couple of times in this series, but for all the talk with Hader, Knebel was the National League reliever of the month for September. Moustakas spoils it, and according to Counsell, he was arguably better than Hader the final month of the season, so that's a really good 1-2 punch.
It is, but that's what makes it so interesting to watch how Craig has handled his best relievers by utilizing them really early. You know, in this case, a 3-run lead. So his best reliever or hottest reliever is not going to finish this game.
You hear people talk about it all the time. The save in the game, the real save, may come in the 7th inning, may come in the 8th inning. Jeremy Jeffress, the way this thing is playing out, is looking like the last guy of those 3 to pitch. 1-2 and another foul by Moustakas,
which he did an incredible job in the regular season. He was unbelievable. In the postseason, it's been a little bit more contact oriented and hit and run oriented. But I think in a perfect world, this all sounds good and it's working, and it does work for Milwaukee. But the danger of this kind of formula is, yes, you have to win today, but then tomorrow presents a challenge.
Pretty good battle being waged here by Moustakas against Wood.
Again, because my point was they would never do this in the regular season. There's no way you couldn't do that formula and sustain success. So as they've gotten down the stretch and they've really been able to utilize their weapons, part of their 12-game winning streak, they knew coming into this series, if it was going to be a 7-game series, it was going to be interesting to see how they get it done based on the usage of pitchers.
1-2 pitch. Moustakas strikes out. And here comes Eric Kratz, the runner at first, 2 out now, and he's looking over at Dave Roberts as he makes his way to the batter's box, and Roberts will stay with the left-hander Wood with 2 out.
Wood does a nice job coming back after a leadoff walk.
Dodgers have Dylan Floro ready in the bullpen if they want him. Kratz 1 for 2. Takes a strike. Didn't agree.
Had a great first series against the Rockies average wise. Hit some balls really hard in this series, but hasn't gotten rewarded as much.
He did take it from 3-1 to 4-1 with a 2-out hit to right in the first. Brewers made it 5-1 with an RBI double by Braun in the second. It's now 5-2.
I love watching guys like this spend the majority of their career bouncing around. Their first taste of postseason.
Strike 2.
Got to be incredible for him. And his perspective is everything you hear from him. His perspective is in the right place of how he approaches it.
I guess they're his college buddies. Here's the 0-2. And hit him, and Kratz will go to first with 2 down. And we'll see if that will chase Alex Wood.
Well, Dave Roberts just looked to the Milwaukee bullpen to see how serious they were on getting somebody up, and I think he's going to walk Arcia and just force the hand of Craig Counsell. I said that Knebel could go up, get up with the bases loaded, 2 outs.
And here it is. They're walking Arcia, and that'll load the bases. And Craig Counsell, it looks like, is going to call Dave Roberts' bluff and send Santana to the plate. And that means Knebel will be finished after just 2/3 of an inning. I'm sure part of his thinking is we have to win 2 games.
I don't think they're going to pinch hit. I think Knebel's going to stay in the game.
And he's got to find a bat. He's going to come to the plate. Crowd likes it. Santana came out there late. I mean, there was really no reason to bluff.
Well, and like I said, looking at the guy in the bullpen, he wasn't throwing with any intensity whatsoever. So that's kind of your first sign, and that's where Dave looked first.
But Roberts, the moment that Kratz was hit by the pitch, put up 4 fingers. And then everything kind of stopped. Santana walked to the on-deck circle, but then is called back before he's announced, and it's Knebel. Bases loaded, ball 1 outside.
Believe it or not, this could be one of the hardest at-bats for Alex Wood, because your expectation's pretty low, knowing that the guy's limited at the plate, and your obvious thought is throw strikes.
Did not have an at-bat during the regular season, and he gets a visit from third base coach Ed Cedar.
I think that's about as simple as saying take.
One-0 pitch. Ball and a strike. He's using the red-hot bat of Orlando Arcia.
Wouldn't be surprised if he takes to 2 strikes.
Nope.
Oh.
Strike 2.
Weapon.
Alex Wood trying to strand the bases loaded and keep this a 3-run game. Knebel is about to head back to work in the 6th. Huge run sitting out there for the Brewers, down 3 games to 2. 1-2, struck him out, breaking ball, and he had no chance, and even a smile. That sends game 6 into the 6th. Dodgers batting down 3.
Hey Google, where is Cody Bellinger from?
Cody Bellinger was born in Scottsdale, Arizona.
And he leads it off here in the 6th inning for the Dodgers, down by 3 against Corey Knebel, who did his usual great work in the 5th. Got Turner on a fly ball to center, struck out Machado with 2 on and 2 out. Just struck out himself in the bottom of the 5th with the bases loaded. Brewers have stranded 7 but lead 5-2. Bellinger 0 for 2.
Well, for Craig Counsell, this inning of pitching was much more important than pinch hitting and breaking the game open. And that might sound crazy, but the reality is he gets through this inning and gets up a 0 based on statistics. Hader's got 2 innings of 0s, and you got to cover 1 inning possibly.
Here's a 2-0 to Bellinger. He hits it hard, and a nice pickup by Aguilar to the bag, 1 out. And Jock Peterson will come off the bench and bat for Chris Taylor.
Well, 2-0. It's a big man to knock it down. He didn't need to knock it down. It found the glove.
And Wade Miley's still out there after his 4 1/3, 2 runs, 4 hits. Didn't pitch long enough to be in line for the win, but he did what Craig Counsell hoped he would do. Gave up that home run in the 1st inning. Gave up a run in the 5th. And walked off the mound up 5-2. Here's Peterson. Ball 1 high.
Peterson had raised his sights the last couple at bats, swinging uncharacteristically above the strike zone. So you know that's where Knebel would like to entice him in this at bat.
Here's a 1-0. Good breaking ball for a strike. Peterson 3 for 11 in this LCS, 7 hits, including a home run this postseason. Floro still, and Rich Hill, who was the game 4 starter, getting loose. 1-1. Strike 2. Two and 2.
Anywhere over the plate with height. That one was off the plate.
That got him on the hand or the end of the bat. Boy, that sounded awful if that caught him on the hand, and Counsell's going to check. Ask for the home plate umpire, Brian Gorman, to
see if
get help to see if he swung at it or to see if that ball caught the knob of the bat. There's a lot to look at. Oh, gosh, right off the wrist.
Boy, it sounded like it hit the bat. That's how hard it hit him.
I mean, that's what is just mind-blowing to think that that hit him on the wrist, and with the way, listen to that. He says he's okay to at least run.
That is going to hurt. Wow.
So 1 on, 1 out for Yasiel Puig. .96-mile-an-hour fastball off the wrist of Jock Peterson. Ball 1 to Puig. 0 for 2.
Again, most teams are hesitant to take bases, risking out on the base, but Knebel does have a slow delivery to home.
Puig skies one into right center field. Back is Kane. Says he's got it, and he does. 2 out. And the batter will be Austin Barnes, the number 8 hitter. Within those 2 RBIs in this NLCS, the game tying base hit up the middle in game 5. It came in the 5th. He's trying to get Dozier to the plate. Runner at first, 2 out. Strike 1. Strike 2.
Tell you what, this crowd has been awesome. They're hoping to get one more game out of this. Been standing, cheering.
Trying to get to their 2nd World Series in franchise history and their 1st since 1982. They need to win tonight to have a chance. Here comes a 1-2 to Barnes. What a job by Knebel. (5-2) Milwaukee. Welcome back to the NLCS, presented by the Google Assistant on FS1. Good game, bottom of the 6th inning. Top of the order for Milwaukee against the new pitcher, Dylan Floro. Great work by Corey Knebel. He's been doing it for so long. Great second half of the season. Terrific postseason. Here's Floro. Ryu, Urias, Wood, Floro.
It looks like Jeffers for the Brewers in the top of the 7th.
Saw Jock Peterson. He stays in the game and left. Ball and a strike on Kane, who's 1 for 3. And there's Jeremy. JJ, as they call him around here. Late swing and a miss at 93 from Floro, and Kane's in the hole 1 and 2.
Kane's right where he wants to be. He really is. This is where he changes his approach. Not going to hit for much power with 2 strikes with his approach, but his job is to get on base. Let the other guys swing for the fences. First inning that started all of this, 2 strikes. You wouldn't teach this today, but that's all it took right there, and he let his legs do the rest. Fooled a little bit on the pitch on a changeup, but take note.
Infield hit, scored the first run for Milwaukee. That's down and in, 2 and 2. Tom?
He does something, Joe, I've never heard before. With 2 strikes, he tries to mishit the baseball. Most strikeouts occur from the bat going underneath the baseball. He tries to hit the top of the baseball with 2 strikes, and with his speed, that leads to a lot of hits.
Renzo Kane has played in 2 World Series, lost 1 to the Giants, 1-1 over the Mets.
They had that kind of approach as a team, the Kansas City Royals did, because they did have some speed, obviously, on that team. Hunt early, put it in play late.
Now a 2-2 pitch from Floro. Took strike 3. 1 away. Give you our Budweiser game summary. David Freese, a leadoff home run. First home run of this postseason. Not his first LCS home run, even in this ballpark, as he did it for the Cardinals in 2011. Has the other RBI for the Dodgers as well. But the story tonight, the Brewers, their 4-run first inning, and the pitching of Wade Miley, and now the pitching of Corey Knebel. Yelich, ball 1. That's it for Knebel. An inning and 2/3. Hit a batter, struck out 2, the rest zeros. Two 2-0 on Yelich, who is 1 for 3 with a 1-out double in the second. He scored on an RBI double by Ryan Braun. Floro has to come to him. Can't do it. It's 3-0.
Obviously, when you have the kind of year that Yelich has, and average-wise for the season, but he hit over 300 in every inning of the game. Every inning on the year, he was Mr. Consistent and dominated that second half.
3-1. 20-7 finish for the Brewers overall. Caught the Cubs, beat them in game 163, 3-1. Won the Central. Here's one the opposite way. Turner gets out number 2. Congratulations to the Boston Red Sox. What the job done by Alex Cora in his first year as manager. There's the final out. And the Boston Red Sox are going back to the World Series. They won in 04. They won in 07. They won in 13. And they'll try to win in 2018 after compiling 108 wins during the regular season. And these are all Eastern times. It starts in Boston Tuesday night.
They just had a better offensive approach. They beat up some of the best pitching you're going to see by the Houston Astros. And as we mentioned, 2 out RBIs. Oh my goodness, did they do a number.
All those World Series games are on Fox. That young lady is hoping for that matchup. Red Sox cap, Brewers sweatshirt. Strike one is into Ryan Braun. The outfield defense that the Red Sox put on display. Incredible. Here's one up the middle. Dozier can't make the play. And Braun is on with 2 out here in the 6th. Dave Roberts pops out of the dugout with Travis Shaw coming up. He's had Rich Hill, the left-hander, up. We could see him here. And Braun is aboard with a 2-out single. Floro is taken out. And instead, it's Caleb Ferguson, not Hill, here in the 6th. Game 6 of the NLCS. Brewers doing exactly what they needed to do coming in. 5th pitcher of the evening for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. It's Caleb Ferguson. Rich Hill was up. They made the switch during the inning with Floro out there. Runner on at first. Braun, 2 out. And a check.
And Dave Roberts just piecing it together, not extending anybody, trying to keep this game close so he at least creates stress for Craig Counsell and using his weapons.
2 out. Travis Shaw 0 for 2 with a walk. Not a bad idea with the left side of the infield pretty much wide open. Strike one. On deck is the right-handed hitting first baseman, Jesus Aguilar.
It's a great idea, but the ball just got in on him. All you got to do is sacrifice, and that's what he's trying to do, and just doesn't get it down. Because that is guaranteed hit if he gets that down.
Instead, it's strike one with 2 out, runner at first. That's hooked foul. Dodgers will have Dozier first up in the 7th. They'll need a pinch hitter. And then Muncy, if anybody gets on Turner. Jeffress getting loose. He's had forever. He is more than loose and more than ready. And coming in with 3 days off. 0-2. That will send game 6 into the 7th inning. Dodgers trying to end this series tonight. Brewers trying to play on in a game 7. Here comes Jeffress up 3. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by State Farm. Chilly, windy outside. Inside, a lot of action, a lot of emotion. And that's the way to describe this pitcher, Jeffress, who pitches with a lot of emotion as he finds the strike zone to start his evening here in the 7th.
Yeah, uncharacteristically, as you see the numbers in the postseason, some ground balls have found their way to hits. Electric stuff, fastball, split, power breaking ball.
Dozier in the hole, 0-2. 5-2 Milwaukee, 7th inning.
I think sometimes guys forget that their fastball's that good, and you pitch away from contact trying to strike guys out. He's left some secondary pitches up in crucial spots. Big inning here.
Dozier pops it up a mile high, foul territory at the moment. Kratz throws the mask and gets the out. The batter will be Yasmani Grandal off the bench for Dave Roberts.
I don't know if this is going to end up being a perfect world, but in a perfect world, you'd love to see Jeffers go 2 and Hader finish it in the 9th, which would leave him fresher for a game 7. Well, we'll see how Craig decides to play this out.
Grandal batting for Caleb Ferguson, who struck out the only batter he faced. Strike 1. Grandal has found his way to the bench. 2 for 10 in this series, 3 for 23 this postseason, 11 strikeouts. He's had a tough time with a lot of that. Balls in and out of his glove when he catches. Couple of errors, 3 passed balls in this series. And in his postseason career, 7 for 68, 30 strikeouts. 1 ball, 1 strike. Beauty. Strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes as Grandal laid off. On deck is Muncy. And then Turner. Kenta Maeda, the right-hander, getting loose for the bottom of the inning. In the top half, 1 out. Grandal spoils the pitch, hits it down the left field line. It is foul. Dodgers have Kike Hernandez and Matt Kemp left on their bench. This one is playable for Braun. 2 out. Here you go, John. Michigan State tomorrow. That in-state rivalry. Number 6 ranked Michigan, number 24 ranked Michigan State. It all kicks off tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern on Fox, or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. If it continues this way, you'll be watching this one in the presidential suite at our hotel here in Milwaukee. Reserved for Hall of Famers and anybody who has any tie to the Packers organization.
That part's true.
You qualify for the first part. Here's Muncy, ball 1 low. Good pitch from Jeffress. Looks a little more sharp tonight after 3 days of rest.
Yeah. He's got wipeout stuff. Really does.
Strike 2 hits the outside corner. the stretch in Game 6. Brewers up by 3.
Hey Google, when does the World Series start?
2018 World Series begins on Tuesday, October 23, 2018, and ends on Wednesday, October 31, 2018.
That's if it goes 7. This one is headed that way. At least to this point, 5-2 is Kenta Maeda. Fires a strike to Aguilar. Grandal stays in the game. He'll do the catching. The pitcher bats in the number 8 spot now, where Austin Barnes was. He went 0 for 3. Grandal flied out in the top of this 7th. That is strike 2, as we will find out at the latest by tomorrow night, who will take on the Boston Red Sox in the upcoming 2018 World Series.
Yeah, Google Assistant could not tell us definitively if there was going to be a Game 7.
No.
Only if there was.
Yeah, if, then it carries through to the following Wednesday. Right-hander is getting loose. It's Corbin Burns. Here's the 0-2.
Well, it has certainly been a definitely strategy-packed series, competitive in every game. It looks like we're headed for the same kind of action here the last 3 innings, 2.5 innings.
0-2 the count. That's ball 1. Maeda takes over for Ferguson. Kenta is the 6th pitcher for Dave Roberts. Nobody's been extended, including the starter. Ryu just lasted 3. Another 1-2, and it's in the dirt. 2-2.
And if this continues, we're headed towards breaking the all-time record, I think, for pitchers used in a series by both teams.
Now the 2-2 pitch from the right-hander Maeda. Aguilar with a good at bat here.
I want to say both teams had 31 pitchers used coming into this game, I think.
Well, we can find that out. We do know that the Milwaukee relievers are going to set a record with regard to innings pitched by a team in a postseason series. Break a record that dates back 71 years. 2-2, fouled back again. Brooklyn Dodgers relievers through 36 2/3 innings in the 47 World Series. The Brewers will break that running away. The 6th game of this series, and the Milwaukee starters have worked less than 19 total innings. So it's been a lot of work for the bullpen and good work by a well put together crew. As Maeda can't finish off Aguilar, and Aguilar can't get one fair.
But the biggest thing the Brewers did is the offense woke up, and it was in the 1st inning, probably the most crucial inning. As we have been repeating like a broken record, that sets up the formula for Craig Counsell, and getting through that 1st inning with the lead, and of course adding one on in the 2nd has put him in this situation.
All the scoring in the first 2 innings for Milwaukee. Run in the 1st, a run in the 5th for the Dodgers. Now a full count.
Craig didn't blink with the bases loaded, 2 outs. He let Knebel hit. Proved to be the right move because he put up a 0 in the big inning following.
There's an important 8th coming up with Turner, Machado, and Bellinger. Jock Peterson due up 4th in the top of the 8th. Three-two from Maeda. Flipped into right. Puig, a long run in the corner. He can't make the play. Fair ball. Aguilar digs for second. He's safe with a double.
You want to talk about strong? Watch this. A little flick of the wrist. And this ball goes a long ways. He wasn't really running. Didn't know if it would stay fair, but had enough. Whereas the ball gets away from Puig, even his great arm makes this play closer than it normally would be. And they're going to hope that his foot came off the bag just for a second. Watch when he slides in.
So we're going into a review as we take another look, and there's Aguilar watching, not running until now.
So when he slides in, watch how quickly he pops up, and just a fraction is all they're hoping. They're hoping that a fraction of when his foot hits the bag, it comes up in the air, and before his back leg hits the base. Why not take a chance? It's worth it. Don't know if it's going to have a view anywhere close to where it could be definitive, but the Dodgers are willing to take that chance. And after the 7th, they can ask the umpires to review it.
A replay review is powered by Mitel. There's a little bit of daylight in there. Is it definitive enough to overturn the call on the field? You saw Alan Porter, the second base umpire, right on top of it.
I would think it would have to be from a right field view to be able to determine. Caught that replay a little too late. But that's what you got to do. You got to keep the tag on him. See the back legs trailing, and it does come up just for a second. That's all it took. You know, replay was established to get the obvious plays, and it's kind of morphed into the inches version. And this was really not the intent, but we're going to find out right now.
And they're sticking with a call on the field. Worth the review. Good effort by Machado to keep the glove in there. And it's a double for Aguilar. Nobody out for Moustakas.
Yeah, what an unbelievable at bat. Foul off, and then flicks it to right. Now they're going to walk Moustakas, and they're going to force the hand again. Try to get down to the pitcher's spot, which was up 5th, I believe.
You are right. Here comes Dave Roberts. Just to talk strategy here, there's nobody up for the Dodgers in their pen. Granderson is going to come off the bench and bat for Kratz.
And the strategy is to determine right here on whether he thinks Granderson's going to bunt or not. I wouldn't think so, given the fact that you've got these chances to add on. But if he is going to bunt, Dave Roberts would have talked about how they want to handle it.
Another aspect is the lead runner is Aguilar does not run well.
Right.
It would take a perfect bunt, and that was part of the thinking earlier in this series with Counsell. I'm with you. I expect Granderson to swing away, but we'll see.
Well, of all the people on the Brewers, he doesn't have a lot that can bunt. I would think that Granderson, if asked to, could definitely lay down a bunt. But there isn't many on their team because they're not a very good team as far as sacrificing on the year.
Granderson picked up during the season. He's been all over the place. Was with Toronto. Was with the Dodgers last year. 2 on, nobody out. Is he bunting? No. At least on that pitch. Ball 1.
Well, what this is also going to do is get Hader up in the pen active now. Just gets up and throws in case they have to pinch hit for the spot and don't score.
1-0 pitch. Granderson takes a strike. See the bandage. under the lower lip for Granderson. Got hit in the chin by his batting helmet on a dive into the bag at second 2 days ago in LA and chipped his tooth. That's strike two. They found that chipped tooth in his lip. Looking all over the infield for it. It was stuck in that lower lip of Curtis Granderson, who was looking for his second hit of this postseason. Runners at first and second, nobody out, a 1-2 count. Maeda struck him out. And Granderson cannot advance the runners. First and second, one out. I know we just pound this reasoning and the whole bullpen maneuvering to death during this series, but those are big runs out there, because if you can somehow get them home, you open up a 5-run lead. That takes pressure off Counsell and could have him save Hader for a longer effort in a potential Game 7.
Yeah, it's just not a strength of the Brewers. I mean, they don't do it during the year and pretty much aren't going to do it in the postseason.
Arcia batting with 2 on 1 out. He's been a force in that number 8 spot. Strike one.
I mean, I asked Craig Counsell the question. It was one of the hardest questions he's had to answer so far, since we get a chance to talk to him every day. I said, if you had to and your season depended on getting a bunt down, who would you ask to do that? And he struggled over it. I mean, he didn't know if he had anybody that he could count on to do that. Probably Kane.
Here's the 0-1. Arcia with a big swing and a foul back, strike two. He also settled on Hernan Perez as a guy who could get a bunt down, but he sent Granderson in there for Kratz. He struck out, and now it's an 0-2 count on Arcia.
On the flip side, I asked Dave Roberts the same question. He struggled just as much. So both teams don't have that really as a strength or something they can rely on.
Arcia 1 for 2 tonight. 0-2. Let out a scream on a pitch that was a bit up and in. 1-2.
Well, it wasn't as close as he was diving in, so he wanted it up. He got some energy out.
Maeda steps off. Arcia, we've talked about it, has had an up and down year. Hit only 3 home runs during the regular season. Had 2 stints at AAA. Postseason, he's been great. 3 homers, 4 RBIs. 2 big ones sitting out there for him now with 1 out. Slow roller. Maeda gets the out. And the runners advance to second and third, 2 down. Good play by the right-hander. And Domingo Santana will come off the bench to pinch hit. Let's take another look.
Well, his harder play was to first. Might have been easier to go to third, but he never looked. And that's usually where the catcher is going to let him know, which base to go to. But nonetheless, he got an important out.
And he'll bring in Santana, who's been tremendous off the bench for Craig Counsell. Burns is still up. Hader is still up for the Brewers. We know this. Jeffress is finished after 1 perfect inning with a strikeout. Threw only 13 pitches. And Rich Hill, for the 2nd time tonight, is getting loose. make it 6-2 here in the 7th. A wild pitch from Maeda, and Grandal could not block it, and that's got Dave Roberts shaking his head.
Well, we've seen this quite a bit now. That's a spiked slider, and usually those are going to go the other way when they hit the ground, and that's exactly what happened. And the Brewers have benefited big time in this series in what we call gift runs.
That makes it a 4-run game. Maeda from the windup misses outside, and that's a big run. And Craig Counsell is wondering whether to go to Hader or not. And by the way, for Grandal, who's taken some heat with what he's done behind the plate, he had no chance on that wild pitch in the dirt. That bounced over his shoulder.
Yeah, that one was on Maeda.
2 balls and a strike. Big swing by Santana.
Well, it makes it a lot easier for Craig Counsell now, as far as tension goes, to go with Burns, I think, in the 8th. Imagine that they could get through this game without even using Hader.
Craig Counsell told us we're going to have to win a game in this series without using Hader. And that could happen here in game 6. But a long way to go. 2-2 on Santana. At 30 home runs last season, was 12 for 29 this season as a pinch hitter. Leadoff double by Aguilar. He scores on the wild pitch. And now Grandal is going to tag Santana, as they said he went around on that pitch down and in. But a big run put up by the Brewers. The double by Aguilar. He scores on the wild pitch. Dave Roberts, Dodgers down by 4. What an opportunity for young Corbin Burns. He's appearing now in his 6th game this postseason. He's gone 1-0, 2.5 ERA. He got the win game 3 of the division series, a clincher at Colorado with 2 perfect innings. Debuted in the big leagues this July. Got a save. Trying to get big outs in the 8th against the heart of the order and deals a strike to Justin Turner as Manny Pena takes over behind the plate.
What you have to tell yourself here is if they're going to get on base, they have to get on base with the hit. Don't create any walks. Attack, and if they beat you with hits, you got the nasty one behind you that can come in for any trouble in Hader.
Popped up to the right side. Long run for Yelich. He's there, 1 out. The NLCS on FS1 is presented by the Google Assistant, an easier way to get things done with just your voice. And is sponsored by Hankook Tire. Chase down your passion, never halfway. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Here's Machado. Oh for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, and he's stranded 3 runners. Left side from the hole, Arcia, long throw, and he got it. Machado 0 for 4. And that kid can play short.
Yes, he can. That's a big part of the Brewers' second half when he got his offense on track, because they needed him at shortstop defensively, and he's smooth and accurate. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm telling you, I can only play in my mind what this would do for the Brewers if, let's just say, Burns could finish this game off in a 4-run lead.
Bellinger takes a ball.
I mean, you're talking about 3 innings availability for Hader tomorrow, which would be incredible to force a game 7.
Well, you would have in game 7 if that would be the case. 2 good left-handers available, 1 on each side, not just Josh Hader, but Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Burns misses just inside, and the count 2-1 on Bellinger. Here's a 2-1. In for strike 2. The rookie right-hander getting big outs in game 6.
That's why that wild pitch was so huge.
Massive.
No doubt in a 3-run game, he's not even going to play to take his chances. He's going to put Hader in the 9th. A 4-run game, you have a lot more wiggle room.
Two-two pitch. Just off the outside corner, a full count with Jock Peterson on deck. If Bellinger could reach, that would force a decision from counsel. Burns doesn't want any part of that. Wants the top of the 8th to end right here. And it does. A 12th pitch, top of the 8th. Brewers by 4. Burns made his major league debut in July. Just got through a 1-2-3 top of the 8th. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Strike one. Burns was a 4th round pick 2 years ago by the Brewers. And from what that man, Craig Counsell, has seen from his young right-hander, he's not in awe of the moment. Brought him in, and Burns rewarded him with a scoreless 8th. 6-2 game. A ball and a strike from Maeda. The bullpen with Knebel getting those huge outs in the middle innings. Likely would pick up the win. And what goes with those numbers is keeping Hader in the bullpen with an extra day of rest if they choose to go that way, with a potential Game 7 tomorrow night. On the 9th, it'll be Peterson, Puig, and then a pinch hitter.
Yeah, to me, this is more prototypical.
Cain is on with a base hit into left. And any more runs would make it that much easier for Counsell to stay with Burns.
Yeah, this is more prototypical of how I thought the game was going to go. Dave Roberts is going to come out and make a change. That's why I was a little confused in Game 1 when Hader pitched the 3 innings when he did, but now you can understand it for possibly Game 7.
Maeda taken out. Rich Hill, the veteran lefty, coming in. The dynamic play of the game.
Come on, boys, let's go. Come on.
Presented by Hankook Tire. Eric Kratz said, come on, boys, let's go. And let's go they did in the first inning. They put up 4. And he was in on the fun. Kratz driving in Moustakas.
Not quiet in here, Brian.
Saying it's not quiet in here, Brian, to the home plate umpire, and it has not been quiet since the first pitch of the game. These fans have been packed in here, loving every second of it. Their Brewers are leading by 4 and have the leadoff man on, nobody out, and Rich Hill has to come in out of the bullpen.
Well, Rich Hill will be a brief trivia question. He is the 73rd pitcher in this series, so that sets a new record. We're only in Game 6, so that's a record for any length of any series, and it's only going to get higher and higher.
Kane led off the inning with a hit that chased Maeda, who went 1+. A run is scored against him. 2 hits, 2 walks. Rather, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 1 intentional walk. Yelich with a double and a run scored, and that big breaking ball stays up and in, ball 1. So we're going to go around the horn here in a second, and first guess, try to have some fun with regard to Hader and Burns. Easy to second guess. We do that too, but in this case we'll try to get ahead of it. John, would you send Corbin Burns back out there for the ninth?
No, I was watching, but not watching every throw he made. I don't think he got super hot, and the lead is big enough, in my opinion, with Burns to go out there and face at least 2 hitters, and you got the perfect scenario if you win this game without Hader in it.
So your answer is
I
yes.
would not put him in.
No, I said, would you send Burns back?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, good. Here's a 2-0 pitch. In for a strike to Yelich. Tom Verducci, what say you?
Yeah, Burns was so impressive to me last inning, Joe, that he does start the inning for me. Here's my calculus. Hader comes in the game when the tying run is on deck. That's where that 4th run is huge, because holding 3, he comes in the game when 1 runner gets on, but holding 4, you can wait till 2 runners get on.
Ken Rosenthal, chime in.
Joe, I'm going to make it unanimous. Originally, I thought when Miley went only 4 1/3, they would have difficulty getting through this game without using Hader for multiple innings. To be able to do this, to be able to escape, what a triumph.
Here's a 3-1 from Hill. Breaking balls inside. It's 2 on, nobody out. And if the Brewers add on, there's no chance Hader would come in the game. Team record this season with and without Josh Hader, including the postseason. I'd say he's valuable. And I think that was part of the reaction by Dave Roberts when that wild pitch by Maeda last inning brought that run home. He knows it.
Yep.
It just takes all the pressure off Counsell. And he knows his team's going to have to deal with Hader for multiple innings tomorrow.
3 runs and he would have pitched. He might have pitched in the 8th, 3-run lead, but 4 runs and looking to add on.
Remember that ball hit by Arcia in the 7th inning? That was a chopper. Maeda went to first, had a shot at Aguilar at third, but whatever Grandal said, whatever Maeda chose to do, he went a more conventional route, and then Aguilar was standing at third and able to score in the wild pitch. Strike 1 on Braun. A visit from Grandal to Rich Hill, and then Brian Dozier comes in to hear what they have to say.
And again, they want to make sure nobody's given any signs.
There's that play with Maeda that led to that run eventually. Instead of going to third, and you can see Grandal saying throw to first. And then the wild pitch scores Aguilar and made it a 4-run game. Here's the 0-1 to Braun, strike 2. Ryan Braun said before this postseason started he is 34 going on 25. He turns 35 next month, but he's been in the big leagues with Milwaukee since 2007. Won an MVP in 2011. He's dealt with a bad back among other ailments, but with the way they've used him, he has a lot left in the tank for this postseason run. And how much would he love to get the Brewers not just to a Game 7 but to a World Series? That's down for ball one.
Well, and again, just think the Brewers and all that they went through at the end of the year because of this place. They don't deal with rainouts. They don't deal with those off days, those messed up down the stretch. And even, you know, moving forward, if they were to win the next 2 days, this ends up being a very valuable place.
It is a serious home field advantage, and Craig Counsell knew it, talked about it before the game, which they played on the board here. A strikeout for Hill. And that keeps the runners at first and second with one away and brings in a pinch hitter. Perez will come off the bench to bat for Shaw and then add to the defense in the ninth. The Brewers were 51-30 during the regular season here at home. That's the best mark in the National League. They tied a franchise record with 96 wins against 67 losses for the season.
Well, for either of these teams, whoever wins going to Boston, playing Tuesday and Wednesday. Weather doesn't look bad. Long range weather.
There's the kiss of death. Mark that down.
I'm sure the Red Sox would like to see a Game 7.
Use them all.
Yeah.
Here's Perez off the bench to bat for Travis Shaw. Ground ball might be two. Machado starts it. Dozier can't get it out of his glove. And instead of an inning-ending double play, the bottom of the eighth inning is still alive.
Well, this is tailor-made, really, when you think about it. Machado throws in, and it just can't make the transfer. Dozier.
So we'll see if Aguilar can make the Dodgers pay for that. By the way, one more strikeout in this series before the end of what could be a Game 7 would set the all-time record for total strikeouts in a postseason series. Aguilar takes a strike. It would be 134 with one more, which would be the most all-time. Strikeout by Braun ties the record.
So Hill could be part of two records.
Breaking ball, base hit into right. Dodgers don't turn the double play. Brewers make them pay. And it's 7-2 here in the eighth.
Some great at-bats against the left-handers today, and you can see that right there for Counsell. Put away the Tums temporarily. Every game seems to be tight and chess move. I don't play chess, but there's been a lot of chess being played here in this series.
It's a 5-run game now. The largest margin of victory for either side in this LCS is 4. That came in Game 2. A pitching matchup of Buehler and Chassin, which would be the Game 7 matchup. A ball and a strike on Moustakas as the Brewers make the Dodgers pay for not turning the double play on the ball hit by Perez. Perez went first to third on that hit to right by Aguilar. Here's a 1-1. 2-1.
You know, in a series that was really going to be defined by home runs and walks, it's starting to turn in by the little things that you don't do and the other team takes advantage, or vice versa. And that's why we're headed to game 7.
Jammed him. Dozier on a knee gets the out, but a big run in the 7th and now a big run in the 8th, and the lead is 5 into the 9th of game 6. Brewers 3 outs away from game 7. Well, Corbin Burnes goes back to the hill, up by 5 in the 9th inning. Jock Peterson first up. Hit by a pitch his last time up there. And the first pitch is a strike. Peterson, then Puig, then a pinch hitter. Really a well-played game here tonight by the Milwaukee Brewers. They got that 4-run first inning. Great relief work. Hader is seated and watching with the rest of us, and now a 1-1 pitch. Peterson, strike 2.
I wouldn't, if I was Craig Counsell, I wouldn't let Hader leave. I just make sure he stays here. Make sure he shows up tomorrow. Keep him here, get him in a nice bed, the manager's office.
One-two pitch, struck him out. Burnes, a late inning weapon for the Brewers. All the way back in the first inning. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. On the base hit to right by Aguilar for the 2-run double.
Yeah, well, Kane was jogging. And that was the important one. Braun scored all the way from first. We've seen that quite a bit by the Brewers. A lot of.
Here's Puig after the first pitch, strike one.
They have a lot more extra base hits than the Dodgers do, and a lot of doubles with runners on first that have allowed those. They're like back-breaking runs when you're on the mound. Runner on first, unless it's a home run, you always want the other team to score with 2 more hits, not 1. And the Brewers have done that.
Nothing in 1 on Puig. Nothing in 2. That strikeout of Peterson to start this 9th inning, the record-setting 134th total strikeout in this LCS, most in a postseason series. With, it appears, a full game to go tomorrow. 97, ball 1.
Well, I know this. I like Game 7s, and I'm not looking at one stat for tomorrow. That's the beauty of it.
Here's a 1-2 and another strikeout. This kid is fantastic.
Cut fastball and explodes. Dodgers know what last year's Game 7 in the World Series was like. It will not be new to them. The difference is that was at home, and now they'll be playing on the road in a charged up Milwaukee Brewer fan base.
Here's Kemp pinch hitting for Rich Hill. He takes a ball. Tomorrow night it's a rematch of Game 3, a 4-0 win in LA. Chassin over Buehler. 2-0 on Kemp. Buehler, the 24-year-old right-hander, the rookie from Lexington, Kentucky. The veteran right-hander Chassin, 30 years old, from Venezuela. And then a lot of guys out of the pen, you would think. 2-0 the count on Kemp. 2-1.
Well, each starter will go to bed. Hopefully they'll get a pretty good night's sleep, depending on their personality. And you just don't want to give your manager a reason to do anything but trust you and leave you in as long as possible. Easier said than done. But each one of those guys will have an interesting night of sleep.
Kemp pops it up. Aguilar is there, and Game 7 coming our way from Milwaukee tomorrow. Brewers win it 7-2. Corey Knebel gets the well-earned win in this one after coming in for Miley in the 5th. Ryu suffers the loss. His first of this series to go with his no decision, no save in a 3-hour, 34-minute game.
Well, who's going to play the perfect game tomorrow? It starts in spring training. Your quest is to get to the World Series. And it's still alive for both teams. Woo! Fasten your seatbelts.
You talked about the perfect game. How about the perfect effort by Corbin Burnes? 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, the rest zeros. And for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler will join this list in Dodger history. Youngest pitchers to start in winner-take-all game. Fernando Valenzuela was 20 when he beat the Expos. Johnny Padres was 23 when he beat the Yankees. And what will it be for the 24-year-old Buehler? against the veteran right-hander Chassin. Can't wait until tomorrow night. About the Brewers bullpen tonight, not listed, Josh Hader, because he didn't pitch. We'll see him tomorrow, you can bet. For our producer, Pete Macheska, Matt Gangle, our director, and our entire crew, John Smoltz and Joe Buck, let's send it to the studio for more baseball postseason coverage.